What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here and for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this reality chat. All right. Where do I begin? You know, I was thinking about some things when it came to this most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And listen, I'm not one of these people that thinks that everyone should like Melody. We all have the rights to our own opinions, to like people for whether we feel like we have a legitimate reason or we have absolutely zero reason at all. But I saw this most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I want to talk about the scene when Melody was at the nail salon with Kimmi and Letitia to get a pedicure. And the name change ceremony was brought up. And I don't know why this came back to mind, and I'm not going to try to find the clip from Funky Dineva, but he used to do reviews of Love and Marriage Huntsville many years ago, and he stopped doing it maybe a couple of years ago. I don't remember exactly when he stopped doing them, but I remember when he started doing reviews of Love and Marriage Huntsville, because I used to watch him like back in the day. Okay. So I know that he's like one of the first of now many that do reviews on shows, and primarily reality show reviews. Right. So I remember when he started doing reviews of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and he said something about Kimmi. And I mean, I didn't really pay that much attention to it, but I remember it like it was yesterday, because he was doing a review of one of the episodes and he was talking about Kimmi. And he said, I love Kimmi. I really love Kimmi. I just want to meet her. I just really love Kimmi. And he was speaking about her in terms of her just being this woman that is, he felt like, his opinion, just had just really great character about herself, just such a great overall person, level-headed, mature. Like these are the types of characteristics he was seeing in Kimmi, right? And then not very recent, but I believe it was maybe earlier this year possibly, when he made a comment. He did a video, and I don't remember exactly what the video was about, because it wasn't about Love and Marriage Huntsville really, because he doesn't do reviews about the show anymore. But just to sum this up, because I just want to make this part really quick, I don't want to dive too deep into this, but he was speaking about Melody, and he said he doesn't rock with Melody, and he feels like she's messy and she tried to mess up someone's marriage or whatever. And then that also was around the time, I believe, when he went to Huntsville. He said he went to Huntsville for a family situation, but he also was invited to come by Black. And then I also do remember when he was promoting that chocolate in a bottle product on his YouTube channel. I remember all of that, right? So it was just funny to me that, and listen, I don't hate him because of this. I'm just basically speaking about it overall. He was saying that he didn't care for Melody because he doesn't rock with people who he feels like they're trying to destroy somebody's marriage or whatever. But yet, years ago, he was just speaking about Kimmi in such high regard. And in my personal opinion, just being beautifully honest, guys, I don't agree with his views on Melody, as well as I don't agree on his views on Kimmi. Now, people have the right to feel however they want to feel. So again, I'm not somebody that's going to say, well, they should feel this way about this person. That's their right to feel however they want to feel. I'm just speaking for myself. I just really feel that it's very strange and weird when we see now, especially Kimmi through these seasons, and even more recently, this most recent episode. In my personal opinion, I feel that she has stood up for Hotel, who pretty much has insinuated, and I wouldn't even say insinuate, he has said that she was a side chick, right? He told that to Melody, and she got pissed when they had that Vegas trip, and they were all laughing about it, including her brother-in-law, a Gumby. Okay. So, and her own husband was not sitting there defending her. Like, he should have been the first one to just say, look, shut it down. It's not true. She was not a side chick. I was already done with my first marriage before I started dating her, or whatever. He didn't even defend her. He actually, I believe, was laughing too. He may not have been like rolling around on the concrete by the pool laughing when they were talking about it. But I remember, and she just got so hot and heated, and you know, I am not, and I never have been a side chick or whatever. But yet and still, it looks like, based on some of the information that has been coming out, that is what it has been. But she has continuously tried to shut that down, even confronting his wife, well, not his ex-wife, I should say, and mother of the child that she's now raising, in my personal opinion, or helping to raise. I wouldn't say raising, but helping to raise. And when I say helping to raise, I mean helping his ex-wife to raise, because I don't really know what he's doing, because she said, well, you're not really doing much. But I just wanted to preface all of this that I'm just about to talk about with that, because I just really feel that Kimmi may have tried to put on this career woman. I'm a registered nurse. I am, a mother of a well-behaved child. He's going to college. He went to college. He graduated from college. I'm not going to be just a side chick. I'm going to get married and all of this other stuff. But yet and still, she's messy when it comes to Melody. And then when people say, well, Melody's messy, or she's slick, or she's sly, do you see how she smiles and smirks when people are speaking to her about things like this? I just feel, in my opinion, that is her response, instead of just going off on people, which would be the easy thing to do. I feel that speaks character of anyone, because it's not an easy thing to do when you see that someone's being messy in your face, and for you to be able to put a smile on versus responding to say, bitch, who the F do you think it's, you know what I mean? Because that could be, honestly, that's the easy route to take. And I'm not saying that if someone responds that way, that they don't have high intelligence or emotional intelligence or whatever. I'm just saying that it does take a lot out of someone to be nice to someone when you feel that they don't deserve it. So I want to get into this clip, because when Kimmi was just questioning things about, one, not being invited, and then two, turning that into, well, I didn't do this, and I always think about this when it comes to the mother and the children having different last names or whatever. It's like, what does that have to do with you?
As African Americans, I think a lot of times we're thrown into a stereotypical cycle of, I'm going to assume that your kids don't have your mama's last name. Mm-hmm. And I think it's tragic. That just mattered, to me.
You and Jalen technically don't have the same last name anymore, right? And it's a part of life, marriage, divorce. It's just one of those things where, it is what it is. My kids know what it is and what it was. So it don't bother me at all. Me choosing not to invite Tisha and Kimmi, I really wanted people there who have been very supportive in my growth and, in this new chapter of my life. And let's just be honest, the past few years, we haven't been getting along. There have been sometimes we're getting along, sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're throwing shade, sometimes we're not. That line clearly being there on if you're for me or against me hasn't really been fully drawn. So I knew I just wanted people who I know without a shadow of a doubt are sincerely in my life with a genuine intent. Tisha, last time I saw you, we were doing the training. You got out before I really got a chance to talk to you. I feel like you were over that whole conversation.
Girl, I was.
She was.
It was. Kimmi did tell me that you was saying that you felt like my energy towards you was different.
After the town hall meeting, I felt like when I said something, well, we're not here to talk about that. I'm hopeful that by the time you guys have everything ready for the next one, that is, more organized.
A lot of things was planned out, and the event itself was organized. But anything prior to, I don't think we're here to discuss that.
Yes, we are definitely here to discuss all of that.
If you felt that way, I want to apologize, because my energy is not directly towards you at all. It's about the whole situation. We put a lot of hard work into it, and it was just a lot coming. I was like, I'm done with with this. So, it probably was, off with everybody.
Yeah,
so,
I just felt like I was like everybody was kind of sharing their input, and you were quiet a lot during that time. But then I felt like when I said what I thought in terms of the planning piece of how things maybe could have been better, then it became, well, we're not talking about that. It's shut down. Like, that's how I felt. Like, it was just shut down as soon as I said something.
Yeah.
I was like, me, I'm just going to ask her.
Yes, please do.
What's up?
And I appreciate that, because I feel like with us, where we're at right now in such a sensitive state, I feel like any little thing could be misunderstood.
Right.
Girl, I think my energy with everybody was off.
That's why I wanted us to be able to kind of link up real quick. What I'm trying to get at is the next step moving forward.
We're moving forward.
I know.
Do y'all follow each other on social media? Are y'all blocked? Are y'all blocked?
We're blocked, I'm sure. I don't think you can unblock.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to
I
unblock
think you can. All she got to do is request a friend again.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Does it?
No?
Letitia and I are unable to unblock each other on social media because we both blocked so many people. We'd have to scroll through all of the people we've blocked to even get to each other's names. We're cool in real life at this point, so being blocked or unblocked on social media really doesn't carry much weight, honestly.
This has been good, Kimmi.
This has been great.
It has been.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad
thanks,
that the misunderstandings were taken care of.
They weren't that deep.
It wasn't?
No, they weren't that deep.
I'm going to have as many of these little get-togethers as I can to make sure we can kind of keep stuff on track.
Well, I guess I'm going to go home and feed these kids.
All right, guys. So you heard that. And basically, what Kimmi was saying was, it didn't even make any sense, because let's just be clear about children's last names, mother's last names. Honestly, when usually you are a single mother and you have a child, the child will have your last name, because I don't know how every state works, but I know in the state that I reside, unless the father of the child, the mother and the father are married, they automatically give the child the mother's last name. Automatically. And then if you're not married, you have to file paperwork to change the last name to match the father's last name. So her explanation, or her asking, or whatever she wanted that to seem like, it didn't even make any sense, honestly. So her trying to sound intellectual and just make it sound like she's just so intelligent and wanting to speak for the African American community. It's always assumed that in the African American community that the mother and the children or child don't have the same last name. That's actually not true. They usually do have the same last name if you're not married. So honestly, none of what she was saying even made any sense. And I don't have a problem with the way Melody chose to respond. That was the way she chose to respond. Again, she could have gotten low and, gotten in her feelings and responded in a hot-tempered way. But, she responded with a smile on her face and just no, my children know what it is. And I just felt like the situation with what has been going on amongst the group, I didn't really want to have people there that were just not people I really felt like were on this journey with me of understanding and supporting what I was doing. So obviously it didn't even sound like Kimmi was in support of what she's doing. And yeah, some people could say, well, Nell was being messy. She came to the event and was messy. I already talked about that. And no, I didn't feel that was appropriate, but I also do feel that was something that production had her to bring up, and she could have said, no, I'm not going to do that. You don't have to do the things that they ask you to do. It's plenty of times when it's on someone's call sheet, you're supposed to meet up at this restaurant with this group of people, and people that are supposed to be there don't show up. So obviously there are times that people don't always do what production asks them to do. But I'm saying this was Melody's event in real life. not just something that she was doing for the sake of the show, an event that she was creating just for the sake of the show. It's something that she was doing in her real life that she really wanted to do. So she only invited those people that she felt like were like with her in real life, not these people who are pretty much her coworkers, even though she, at that moment in time, at least, I don't know how it is at this moment in time, because obviously this was filmed months ago. So I don't know where they are right now, but I don't believe that she is hanging out with these ladies that she was in the scene with in real life. Even if she used to, I don't believe it's that anymore. These are her coworkers, and she is also the executive producer of the show. So it's like she's doing what she has to do for the sake of the show, whether the ratings should be where they are, because at this point in time, I heard somebody call Carlos King a Bravo. Oh my God, what was the title that they gave him? It was so funny. I'm going to go back and find that because I believe it was on whatever. Alexander Rogers, one of my favorite content creators on YouTube. He and C Diggy One, they do their podcast every week together. And Pop Roast. I'm sorry, it's early, guys, as I'm recording this. So the brain isn't all there at this very moment. I'm still waking up. But anyway, yeah. Pop Roast, and they called him something. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that because I literally laughed out loud when I heard that, because it's true. Carlos, in my opinion, he's spending more time on Bravo and doing interviews with these reality people that have been on Basketball Wives and on Housewives and Love and Hip Hop and whatever, versus taking the time to put into his shows. Because I know some people felt like Love and Marriage DC wasn't a good show. I actually was into it. But what happened to that? It left on this huge cliffhanger and it's gone. And I know that this that I'm recording isn't about that, but I'm just going off on a little bit of a tangent because it's just like Melody, she's doing her job. I don't know what Carlos is doing, okay? So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments section. What do you think about Kimmi bringing up the last name situation? And also just let me know your thoughts overall on what I talked about today, guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I just really want to let you know that I really do appreciate each and every one of you who take the time to listen to my content, whether you make a comment or not. And I really thank you guys who do comment. It means a whole lot to me. You really have no idea, because this is not something that I do for a living. This is something that I do for fun, and that I do also as a little form of therapy for myself and the life that I live and lead. A lot of life be lifing. I'll just put it like that over here. So when I get the opportunity to share my thoughts on things that I see, whether it's on reality shows or in entertainment news or the political scene or religious crap or whatever, I appreciate those of you who take the time to listen to the thoughts that I have to share. It really does mean a lot. So I just wanted to let you know that you really are appreciated here, you honest beauties over here on the Being Beautifully Honest channel. So guys, until next time, I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful. And now I'm going to say bye.